We just got our biggest lore drop about Teyvat's moons, and it's all starting to come together. It also gives us some insight on what might be going on in our next destination, Nod-Krai, some more details about Khaenri'ah, and the literal cosmos. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. In our newest web event, Song of the Welkin Moon, we learned about the three ancient moons: the Eternal Moon, the Iridescent Moon, and the Frost Moon. The Eternal Moon was the first to fall, which caused both the heavens and the earth to be thrown into chaos. This calamity is likely Dragon King Nibelung's second war of vengeance against the heavenly principles after he came back with forbidden knowledge. And it's also possible that the Iridescent Moon also shattered during this time. Not only was it shattered, it cast a crimson glow into the abyss. This might suggest that during the time of its destruction, it was in a lunar eclipse, causing it to be crimson. This might also tell us some stuff about the fallen nation of Khaenri'ah, because this Crimson Moon was the same one that the Crimson Moon dynasty of Khaenri'ah worshipped. But Khaenri'ah was an underground nation, so how did they see the moon or any celestial entities for that matter? The fall of the Crimson Shadow into the abyss was actually known by the people of Khaenri'ah, and was first revealed in the description of Arlecchino's signature weapon. From the book Harry, it's also said that its unique position allowed things from beyond this world to be able to slip in, while also mentioning a tale of gods coming from the sea, and those who were shipwrecked were treated with honor. However, the book notes that Khaenri'ah never had any seas or oceans in the traditional sense, but rather it was used by Khaenri'ahns as a metaphor for the place projected by stars, which could only describe the sky. Arlecchino's weapon also refers to the abyss as the abyssal firmament. Firmament is a term used to refer to the sky, but in the event, the abyss is referred to as the abyssal sea. Putting this together, this might suggest that the abyss was the sky of Khaenri'ah, while for everyone above ground, the abyss was deep underground. This might suggest that while Khaenri'ah was underground, it was also upside down. This is supported by the Carry Bear quest when walking through the ruins and finding stuff being turned upside down or defiled statues hanging from the ceiling. This might fuel the debate of whether all of Teyvat is actually upside down and Irminsul and Khaenri'ah were actually right side up. But that's a topic I'll leave for another video. Okay, so what about the big moon we see in the abyss? It's actually the same one as the Crimson Moon. The patterns are identical. Now moving on to the final moon, the Frost Moon. The Frost Moon stopped turning, during which many nations fell. The same animation shows the Crimson Moon disappearing. This might suggest the same time the Crimson Moon was replaced with the Eclipse Moon in Khaenri'ah. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The event tells us that without the shelter of eternity, the world marches towards its final breath, and from the ashes a new moon will rise. This is almost certainly a prediction for what's to come in Nod-Krai. Nod-Krai has a group called the Frost Moon Scions who worship a moon deity. They are also said to be able to use magic, powers that may belong to such deity or the moon itself. I suspect that this moon deity may be none other than the Welkin Moon, seen as the event is literally called Song of the Welkin Moon, and from what we know, the Frost Moon is the only one that's not destroyed. And so perhaps this power from the Welkin Moon might be the key to bringing about a new moon. But how exactly? We know that the second harbinger Ildetore is present in Nod-Krai, and according to this NPC, Helka told us that the Fatui were bringing in a lot of construction materials into Nod-Krai, so it's obvious that they're constructing something over there. The event said that it's prophesied that the new moon will rise from the ashes, so what might be the ashes in this case? Well, referring back to the dialogue in Natlan, Mavuika told us that the ancient moons are relics of secret source technology from the dragons. Helka also told us that she's seen a lot of secret source automatons, also products of dragon technology in Nod-Krai, on the island where the Frost Moon Scions gather. So Dottore may be using the powers of the Frost Moon Scions and the ancient dragon technology present in Nod-Krai to either 1. Create a new moon, or 2. Create a mechanical moon goddess. Looking back to the Pale Flame artifact set, Dottore was incorporated into the Fatui from his promise that he could create them an enhanced human, or what they could even call a god. And after his little experiment in Sumeru, this might be his final creation to take the stage. The last bit I want to bring attention to is this panel from the event. Notice how there's no sun in the center of the system? It's quite likely that along with the moons, the dragons also created an artificial sun. While it's possible at one time there could have been a real sun, it may have died leaving darkness, which resulted in the dragons creating a fake sun to sustain Teyvat. And now pay close attention to my cursor. It looks a lot like the space around it is warping as it moves, pretty similar to a real thing in real life, a black hole. I don't know if this was just a choice for aesthetics or to foretell something that may be lurking in the shadows, but this might suggest that there is something of the sort roaming in the world of Genshin. Could it be another creature like the all-devouring narwhal, which has a literal black hole in its stomach roaming the cosmos, or an actual celestial entity like a black hole? Upon thinking about it a little more, having a black hole type thing might actually make a lot of sense, and could explain how time flows differently on Teyvat and in the Abyss, perhaps due to the phenomenon of time dilation. But we may not have enough information to say so just yet. So stay tuned, because this event is going to stick around for the next 2 months, so there's a lot we're going to learn in the coming weeks. I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments, and consider subscribing if you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.